In this video, we will be looking at an essay written by one of our students at +1 point, as we did in the previous videos. In our last video, we talked about the first body paragraph and how it can be improved, so this time, let's look at the second body paragraph. Hi, my name is Addison and I'm from +1 point. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Now, let's take a look at the essay. Here is the task. Some people think that the best way to be successful in life is to get a university education. Others disagree and say this is no longer true. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. This time, we will look at the second body paragraph. However, I believe that receiving tertiary education is not always the best way to be successful because people can be prosperous by cultivating their talent. Some have talent for sports or music which need continuous practice to develop their skills rather than studying theories at university. They spend most of their time on practice so that they can win the competition and a title. Furthermore, many people are successful as they sharpen their skills. People in some fields such as craftsmen work hard to master technique and craftsmanship. My uncle, who just completed secondary education, worked very hard as a potter and established his own studio, producing many ceramics, which is famous and sold internationally. Now, let's look at it, sentence by sentence. However, I believe that receiving tertiary education is not always the best way to be successful because people can be prosperous by cultivating their talent. Once again, to stay relevant and closer to the discussion required by the task, it is a good idea to use no longer rather than not always. Now, let's focus on the expression be prosperous. Both be and become are often used interchangeably, but the exact nuance is slightly different. Whereas be describes a state of being, become describes more of a change. In other words, be prosperous means to be in a prosperous state, while become prosperous means to change into a prosperous state. It is more reader-friendly to include the nuance of change here, so let's change it to become. Finally, let's add some information to the last part, by cultivating their talent. Let's try to expand a little on what kind of talent is being referred to. Reading the following statement, it seems that the writer is referring not just to academic talent, but also to other talents, especially those that would be recognized as talents in modern society. So adding something like, in the many other ways that modern society allows, would make it clearer. Next, let's analyze the second sentence. Some have talent for sports or music which need continuous practice to develop their skills rather than studying theories at university. First of all, let's review how to use the relative pronoun, which. Relative pronouns have restrictive and non-restrictive uses, but here it seems that the writer is describing sports and music in general, rather than a specific sport or music. So it seems better to supplement a comma before which, and state it as a non-restrictive clause. The next thing we want to focus on is develop their skills. Since we are speaking in general terms here, it sounds more natural to remove their and simply say develop skills. Also, the studying theories can be expressed as purely theoretical studies, to make the writing more sophisticated. Okay, now let's look at the third sentence. They spend most of their time on practice so that they can win the competition and a title. First of all, let's look at the usage of demonstrative words. Consider what they used at the beginning of the sentence refers to. Then you can see that it is some in the previous sentence, namely, some people who have talent for sports or music. However, it is somewhat unclear, so to be clearer, and to improve cohesion, you can use these talented people instead of they. The definite article, the, is used for competition, but as we are not trying to speak of a specific competition, it is better to use the plural form, competitions. Also, title certainly has the meaning of something that is won in a competition, but it can also have various meanings, such as a name that describes someone's position or job. So choosing the vocabulary, recognition will avoid misinterpretation. Now let's look at the rest of the essay. Furthermore, many people are successful as they sharpen their skills. First of all, the writer tries to connect the ideas in the first half of the essay with a story that is to follow by using the connecting word, furthermore. Furthermore is a cohesive device, often used to add a new argument. But the argument after the word, furthermore, is very similar to the previous argument, so let's delete furthermore and continue the discussion. If you change it to these people, it would be linked to the previous sentence. Let's move on to the next sentence. People in some fields such as craftsmen work hard to master technique and craftsmanship. This sentence is fine, except for the word craftsman. Craftsman means a person with craft skills. Since this is an example of a field, rather than a person, it needs to be crafts, not craftsman. Now let's look at the last sentence of the second body paragraph. My uncle, who just completed secondary education, worked very hard as a potter and established his own studio, producing many ceramics, which is famous and sold internationally. There are two things that can be improved. The first is the meaning of just. If you use just together with the present perfect or past tense, it means something like recently graduated. The writer wanted to say that the person only graduated from secondary education, so it is appropriate to use only instead of just. Another point for improvement is the is after the relative pronoun which. The antecedent of this which is the plural noun ceramics mentioned immediately before. It is therefore grammatically correct to use are instead of is after which. Although the example ends here, it would be more helpful to add a sentence like the following at the end to make the whole body more coherent. For him, this was clearly the best way to achieve success. Finally, let's read through the essay one more time. However, I believe that receiving tertiary education is no longer the best way to be successful, because people can become prosperous by cultivating their talent in the many other ways that modern society allows. Some have talent for sports or music, which need continuous practice to develop skills, rather than purely theoretical studies at university. These talented people spend most of their time on practice, so that they can win competitions and recognition. These people are successful as they sharpen their skills. People in some fields such as crafts work hard to master technique and craftsmanship. My uncle, who only completed secondary education, worked very hard as a potter and established his own studio, producing many ceramics, which are famous and sold internationally. For him, this was clearly the best way to achieve success. In this video, we have looked at an essay written by one of the students at +1 point and improved the second body paragraph. In the next video, we will be looking at the conclusion paragraph. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.